Good morning, Quadcopter 101. What I got for you today is a review of the new VISUO XS809HW. Now, I did a previous review of the XS809W, the non-altitude hold quadcopter version of this. This is the altitude hold version. You know, some people just don't like to fly without altitude hold, especially newer pilots. They like the idea of the altitude hold. Finally, there is a version available now with altitude hold, and we got it here for you today here on the Quadcopter 101 channel. Now, as with the other previous VISUO that I reviewed, this again is a folding quadcopter. The idea is that you could fold it up and throw it in your backpack and take it with you anywhere and out in the field to go flying to get aerial video or aerial photography. And as with the other one that I reviewed, the XS809W, this is the 720p version that I got here, which means it does have a card for a micro SD card slot. So it can record video directly, HD video, 720p HD video, directly from its lens, from its camera, to the card. With the card here, we won't see lag like we would see with a Wi-Fi system that records to your phone. It's better to record directly to your card to eliminate Wi-Fi lag. And additionally, this swivel lens can be swiveled up or down. I'm going to try to swivel it somewhat down so we can avoid seeing the props in the video. The previous video that I did, the props were very evident because I had the lens pointed slightly upward to see all the horizon when flying forward. But I'm going to point that lens a little bit downward for this flight on this quadcopter today. Additionally, you have an on-off switch here. And finally, this battery is removable. And let me get it out first. There we go. And it is, as before, the same battery is on the XS809W, a 3.7 volt, 900 milliampere hour battery, which should give it significant flight time. So let's go over the transmitter. The transmitter is different than the XS809W. And the big difference is that it has this centered throttle stick. In the XS809W, the throttle stick was not centered, but since this is altitude hold, the stick will automatically center. Other buttons on this is your rates, this is your flips. It has a phone holder here. I'm going to keep my phone here because we are going to be using a tablet. I just want to show you that it could hold a phone. But you start the motors by bringing the throttle sticks down and inboard. Once the motors are started, you can do an automatic takeoff by pressing this button here, and once in the air, press it again and it will do an automatic landing. If you crash into a tree or into a bush, you want to turn off those motors immediately to prevent damage to the motors, and you do such by pressing this emergency stop button here and holding that emergency stop button there. You can set the gyros to this quadcopter if it has a extreme drift in normal flight by putting the quadcopter on a flat level surface and bringing both sticks down and outboard. The other buttons on this are very well labeled. Like I said, this is the rates. It says speed. This one here is for flips. If this was the C version, there is a C version which is camera only, no Wi-Fi, no Wi-Fi FPV. You could activate the camera by pressing this button here and activate the video by pressing this button here. But since this is the Wi-Fi version with C recording capability, with HD recording capability, you have to activate recording even to the SD card via the app, the XS app. And finally, we do have headless mode here and one key return, which is this button here. So that's in effect, folks. Let's go take this thing up for a flight and see how it performs. Hope you enjoy this flight. Okay, I started the quadcopter and bound it to its transmitter with an up-down bind. I've also opened the app, XS Wi-Fi app, and hitting play. And this is the view we got here, and I still can see a little bit of propeller in the upper left corner. So what I'm going to do is take the quadcopter and move its propellers to the maximum point where they'd be in view at about 45 degrees. And actually turning them to see if I can see there. So I'm going to lower the camera down a little bit more so that the propellers are out of view. So we're good to go there. And I'm going to hit record on the app. Starting the recording now. So it's recording to the SD card and also recording to the phone too in low resolution. But Now we need to start the motors by bringing the sticks down and inboard, and then hitting the automatic takeoff button and going a little bit higher, because I got a little bit of a breeze here and that's affecting the barometer control, and going to a higher rate too. And let's go up high and go upwind too at the same time. And going down the field right about there, a little bit higher. Again, I got a wind today, and we'll let the wind blow it back around the area. And I want to turn around this way because I am going to hit those lights. I don't want to hit the lights, folks, so we'll go up a little bit higher with its altitude hold control right about there, and then we'll rotate. Wow, that's a fast wind up there, folks. Coming back down. There's quite a bit of wind up high. So now let's bring it down close so you can see it. So this is it up. This is it viewing me on the camera. Let's go up a little bit higher because I know that the camera's pointed downward, remember? And you can use it as a selfie drone. Now this can also be controlled via its app, if you want to use its app for selfies. But you can also do selfies with the sticks too, for very precise control. So let's go overhead here. We got a higher rate? Yes, we do. Now I want to go over this way here and press that one key return, which is, well, it's coming back anyways because of the wind. Wind happens to be off in that direction there. Let's go upwind again. And pressing one key return. And it comes back super fast now with one key return. So let's try the headless mode. Pressing forward. That seems to be its headless mode. Understanding headless mode. Pressing to the left. Also, I'm going to keep the quadcopter pointed toward me throughout the headless mode flight. That's the big idea of headless mode, folks, is you can use it to keep the quadcopter pointed toward you, such as for panning purposes. And coming out of headless mode by pressing that button there. So, okay, let's bring it in close. Closer. And try a flip. That's its flips. Let's try that again, going upwind. So again, this is the headless or altitude hold version of this quadcopter. You know, it's not as maneuverable as the original XS809HW, and that one's going to start to become harder to find, folks. I think their idea is that they're going to be mainly shipping these altitude hold versions out as the main one. So everybody's going to be eventually having these altitude hold versions. So those of you got the non-altitude hold version, you're lucky. Consider yourself lucky. At least I would, because I really don't like altitude hold that much. Let's try the take or land button. What I'm trying to do is get over here to do the land, auto land, and there we go. Okay, well, the reason I wanted to land, folks, is I want to make sure I got that video, that aerial video, and we'll restart it again. Restarting our motors, and pressing the auto takeoff button. But again, keep in mind, this is mainly for beginners. And the altitude hold does help. If you want to use this mainly for camera purposes, the altitude hold will help you keep the quadcopter more steady. Although today I got a breeze, so I'm having a hard time keeping it steady in this breeze. But, and again, it's much easier to fly with altitude hold because you don't have to worry about throttle control. But intermediate flyers would have appreciated that original model that I demonstrated without altitude hold, because it was very maneuverable. And right now, I don't think, like I said, I looked, TomTop was the one that had the non-altitude hold version. And I don't think they have it anymore. I think they're shipping the altitude hold version right now. So you'd have to clarify with them what version you're going to be getting from TomTop. But this one I got from Banggood. Banggood sent me this altitude hold version. Let's go back up again one more time and go upwind and higher. Higher and future. There's this old SEMA commercial for the SEMA X1. Poorly translated. Oh, heck. I had a little bit of a concern there. It seemed to keep on going. I want to come back down, folks. I want to try something. I haven't demonstrated yet. And I should have done that first off before going off in that direction there. Coming back down. And we are going to land it. Bringing it over the pad. And land button. What kind of land was that? Did you see that? It just dropped. Okay, what I want to do first off is stop the video. I haven't tried something, folks, and I should have done that. Let's start this motors. And then turn off the transmitter. 1001, 1002, 1003, 1004, 1000. Okay, so there's about a 5-second lag there, and I noticed that I was flying out of range there for a second there when I went past those lights over there, and it had kept on going. Okay, let's hit start again, and starting the motors. Had to rebind there, I forgot. Taking back to the air manually this time. And I want to check my lights. Oh, they're still good. So let's go back up again. I was just afraid for a second there because, again, it kept on going for a few seconds there. But apparently it's about 5 seconds before the motors will stop, so I don't have to worry about fly away. And if I fly upwind and I lose contact, it should blow back into range of my transmitter. So let's stop it right there and do a rotate of the area. Still a bit breezy up there, but it's not as breezy as it was earlier today. In fact, it seems to have stopped right now. We're slowing down. There's our beautiful mountains off in the distance, and over there's our beautiful Home Depot. Going back upwind one more time. And rotating and showing you the park. Okay, that wind's picked up again. Coming back down. Yeah, I can feel it now. Coming back down. Going upwind. Right about there. And I'm going to let the wind blow it back toward me. This is the wind, folks. Hello, how's my shirt today, by the way? And the wind stops. You know, it's just hovering there up in the sky. I'm not doing anything because the wind's just stopped here now. Now the wind's going that way, I guess. Yeah, it's becoming light and variable now. It was kind of breezy this morning. And as you can hear, my voice still hasn't fully cleared up. It's been 3 days since I last flew. So I really should take a whole week off, but I had a batch come in the other day and I have to